Welcome to Sports Talk.
Hello everyone, welcome. This is Nick from Top Notch Sports, and today we're going over 2023 Detroit Lions salary review and off-season moves for 2023. Dan Campbell, the ankle biter, the knee biter, grab someone's ankle and just twist it. I love this guy. Hard-nosed, old-school football coach. I love it. When this guy got hired, I said, I think this guy is exactly what the city of Detroit needs. And I'm happy to say I think I was right. Last season, the Detroit Lions went 9-8, finishing second in the NFC North, only behind Minnesota Vikings, who went 13-4 and made a playoff push this season. With that being stated, they beat out the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur, and they also beat out the horrible Chicago Bears. With that being stated, what will they do this upcoming offseason? Well, this is a little bit of a mock offseason, mock free agency, mock draft, and everything else. If you're new to this series, welcome. If you're not new to this series, welcome back. Let's hop right into this. At the end of the video, I'll give you my new prediction for this team next season. Here we are. First things first, you look at the team on the top left corner of the screen. You see that they got $28.5 million in cap space. That's a pretty good amount of money. Now, again, if you're new to this series, I'm going to explain to you what this means. The guys that are currently shown are guys that are currently under contract for the upcoming season. With that being stated, the guys in green, if you cut them, you save money. The guys in red, if you cut them, you lose money. So again, typically, you want to cut the guys that have high cap spaces in green, especially if they're not performing well. Quick example, I'm just going to throw two guys out there. I'm not cutting them. I'm just saying two guys. If you were to cut Jared Goff, which you're not going to do, you would save $20.6 million. If you cut Frank Ragnow, you will lose $1.6 million. Now, again, you would never want to cut someone when you will lose money. So the guys in red, you're definitely probably not going to cut. The guys in green could be considered. So when you look at this, let me know who you would cut. Again, a few guys that ring a bell to me right now. And again, in 2 slides from now, I'll show you who I do end up cutting. But Michael Brockers for $10 million, that's a hefty price. You know, Vaitai, $6.6 million. You got to consider, I don't think he played a snap this year for the Detroit Lions. And you look around the rest of the team. The rest of the team, honestly, pretty good cap space for the most part. Again, Jared Goff is up there, but again, you're not going to move on to Jared Goff. He played very good this season. Has honestly been pretty good his entire career. A lot of people wanted to knock him after they got rid of him in LA, in Los Angeles with the Rams. But honestly, he's been nothing besides a solid, mediocre quarterback. He's been pretty dang okay. I'm not going to say he's great. He's not Mahomes, right? He's not Allen. He's not those guys, Burrow or Herbert. But he's pretty dang good. You can win games with Jared Goff. And honestly, I think if Jared Goff was on that Rams team when they were that super team and they won the Super Bowl last year with, everybody, Von Miller, Odell Beckham Jr., and you got Cooper Kupp still, who he did have Kupp, but with Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald and everybody that was on that team, if Jared Goff had that team with OBJ, and on top of OBJ also having Von Miller, I think he could have won that Super Bowl. I really do think he could have won that Super Bowl. So I don't think Matt Stafford did anything too crazy. So again, real fast, let me know what you think right here, who you end up cutting. This slide is our notable losses. Now, before we even get into anything about this, I want to go over two things. These are the guys that are currently not under contract and need contract extensions. So you're either going to re-sign them or you're going to let them walk. Real fast about the percent of snaps played. This is the numbers shown here are the percent of snaps played when they were activated for the game day roster. If they were on the IR, it does not get counted against them. So if you see someone that played 90% of the snaps according to this, and he only played only a quarter of the season, is because when they were on the IR, it doesn't count it against them. If they're activated for the game day roster and they don't play due to injury, or they don't play just because the team benched them, or, they rotate them, then it counts against them. So real fast, let's start with the first guy. Offensive guard Evan Brown, expected contract, a 3-year, $32.6 million deal. He plays 71% of the snaps. Next guy, safety, Deshaun Elliott, expected contract, a 3-year, $30 million deal. He played 91% of the snaps. Halfback Jamal Williams, expected contract, a 2-year, $8.2 million deal. He played 40% of the snaps. Cornerback Mike Hughes, expected contract, a 1-year, $3 million deal. He plays 64% of the snaps. And last but not least, wide receiver DJ Chark, expected contract, a 2-year, $19 million deal. He plays 71% of the snaps. Now, typically, a good rule of thumb here is this. Hey, they play a high percentage of the snaps and they play well during those percent of snaps. Typically, the team will look to bring them back. So let's see what we got going into our potential target slide. Here are our potential targets. Again, they have $20.5 million in estimated cap space available. After we decide to cut Michael Brockers, Vaitai, and Charles Harris, the edge rusher, we're up to $49.1 million in estimated cap space available. With that being said now, we have money to re-sign some of our players. The first guy we're going to bring back is offensive guard Evan Brown. Now, this is pricey for a guard, but again, we're going to keep this offensive line absolutely phenomenal. Evan Brown, 3 years, $32.4 million, $10.8 million cap hit. Next guy, bringing back halfback Jamal Williams. 2-year, $8.2 million deal, $4.1 million cap hit. Next guy, bringing back wide receiver DJ Chark. 2-year, $19 million deal, $9.5 million cap hit. Safety, Deshaun Elliott, bringing him back. 3 years, $30 million, $10 million cap hit. Linebacker, Leighton Vander Esch, we're going to sign him from free agency. 2 years, $11.6 million, $5.8 million cap hit. And tight end Austin Hooper. 2 years, $13.4 million, $6.7 million cap hit. It totals out to being $46.9 million in total cost. I'm sorry, the number was wrong there just a moment ago. I had to adjust that error on our end, which means that you have an estimated remaining cap space of $2.2 million. With that being stated now, that rolls over to the 2024 season. This amount of money will roll over, so you have a little bit more cap space for next season. There's no one really that you can sign with $2.2 million, so therefore we're just going to have that one roll over. Now, how does this help our team needs? Well, let's look. First things first, we're going to re-sign running back Jamal Adams to fill in a running back need. We're going to re-sign wide receiver DJ Chark to fill in a wide receiver need. We're going to re-sign our offensive guard Evan Brown to fill in our offensive guard need. We are going to re-sign safety Deshaun Elliott to fill in our safety need. Now, on top of that, now we're going to make a few signings. We're going to sign tight end Austin Hooper to fill in our tight end need, and we're going to sign linebacker Leighton Vander Esch to fill in our linebacker need. Now, we had 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a third-round pick to absolutely nail the draft, and this is what we're going to do. In the first round, we're going to draft cornerback Kelee Ringo. That will be our first-round pick, and it's a good pick to fill in one of our cornerback needs. In the first round again, later in the first round, we're going to draft linebacker Trenton Simpson, okay, to fill in another linebacker need that we have. In the second round, we're going to draft edge rusher Andre Carter, okay, to fill in our edge rusher need. In the second round, we're also going to draft defensive tackle Lucas Van Ness. And last but not least, in the third round, we're going to add some depth at the cornerback position and draft cornerback DJ Turner. Look, from the sound of things, I talked to a few of you Detroit Lions fans. You told me that you needed cornerback help, secondary help. Well, we're bringing back a bunch of guys. And on top of that, we're drafting a bunch of players. So now what does that do? Well, we're drafting Lucas Van Ness to fill in that D tackle need. We're drafting Andre Carter to fill in that edge need. We're drafting Trenton Simpson to fill in that linebacker need. And we're drafting Kelee Ringo and DJ Turner at the cornerback position to fill in that cornerback room. Now look, and on the next slide, you'll see our 2023 expected starters, but real fast before we even get there. With these moves, you are adding an extremely young secondary. Kelee Ringo, DJ Turner, Jeff Okudah. That's extremely young. And if a few of these guys pan out, this will be one of the most potent secondaries in the league if these guys start to pan out. At safety, we're re-signing Deshaun Elliott to pair up with Kirby Joseph, who I was really high coming out of last year's draft. On top of that, we're drafting a linebacker in Trenton Simpson to pair up with Leighton Vander Esch. You need linebackers, let's add both of them to pair up with Malcolm Rodriguez from last year's draft. Holy crap, this defense, which was really below average last year, is starting to look good. We're bringing in edge rusher Andre Carter to work with Romeo Okwara and Aiden Hutchinson. We're drafting Lucas Van Ness to shore up the defensive tackle position. And on top of all that, we're bringing back most of our offense, and we're signing Austin Hooper to fill in that void that we have for TJ Hawkinson. So now let's go and look at our 2023 expected starters. Here are our 2023 expected starters. Now, real fast, the color in yellow means a placeholder. And I know that Romeo Okwara is pretty dang decent. And I know some of you fans believe he's pretty dang decent. But according to PFF, they said that he did not have a good year this year. I'm not really buying it. But again, they considered him a placeholder. So we put him in yellow. So that's why we're also adding Andre Carter. Between him, Hutchinson, Okwara, between those three coming off the edge, you can rotate them around. It's fine to rotate. That's a really good thing, to be honest with you. That's a really good edge rushers. You got really good edge rushers that can probably all average over 8.5 sacks a season. With that being stated, you got Aleem McNeil from last year's draft, plus Lucas Van Ness locking down the interior of your defense. But before we even hop into looking at the team as a whole, I want to talk about the color. So again, yellow placeholder. Romeo Okawara, I don't really think he's a placeholder. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. In orange, we got our re-signs. We're re-signing Evan Brown. We're re-signing Jamal Williams. We're re-signing DJ Chark. And we're re-signing Deshaun Elliott. In that lime green, those are our signings. We're signing Leighton Vander Esch. We're signing Austin Hooper. And last but not least, in light blue are our draft picks. And it's all on defense this year. We're drafting Kaylee Ringo. We're drafting DJ Turner. We're drafting Lucas Van Ness. We're drafting Trenton Simpson. And we're drafting Andre Carter. Now, I know we got more than 11 guys on defense here, but I just want to show you every move that we made. And again, all 11 of these guys won't be starting. It depends if you go nickel, 4-3, 3-4, dime luck, everything changes depending on the guys and who's tired and who's not. But I just want to show you as a whole the moves that we're making here. You still got $2.2 million in cap space to make some moves throughout the regular season. But with this being stated, you look at this team. You shore up your offensive line still by bringing back Evan Brown, which was one of the best offensive lines in football last season. You got Jamison Williams this year. You bringing back Chark, and you have Amon-Ra St. Brown. And now you're bringing in Austin Hooper to give Jared Goff another weapon to use. With that being stated, why are we going to let Jamal Williams walk when we got the money to bring him back? Let's use that 1-2 combo punch again between him and DeAndre Swift. So now your entire offensive line solid. Your running back room solid. You got enough weapons for Jared Goff to succeed. Now let's look at what was a pretty disappointing defense this season. You're bringing in 2 really young cornerbacks to help out with Jeff Okudah on the secondary. You got Aiden Hutchinson, who was a stud this year, and now you're bringing in Andre Carter to rush off the opposite side of him with Romeo Okawara also being there. You're bringing in Lucas Van Ness to shore up that interior part of your defense. Your linebacker room, Malcolm Rodriguez played great this season. You're bringing in Leighton Vander Esch and Trenton Simpson, 2 other guys that can lock up that linebacker room for you guys. Now you got no weaknesses at linebacker. You're bringing back Deshaun Elliott, who had a pretty dang good year. And on top of that, you got Kirby Joseph, a nice young stud who I think is going to be a really good player for this football team for years to come, who I was really, really high on coming out of last year's draft. With all that being stated, last year your team went 9-8 under head coach Dan Campbell. And this division is only going to get tougher with the Chicago Bears having $120.7 million to spend, having the first overall pick, probably going to trade down, get more draft capital to really fill in a lot of their voids. The Green Bay Packers, if they run it back with Aaron Rodgers, they don't have a lot of cap space. But again, you got to expect them to be tough again as well. And I don't think Minnesota's going anywhere. But to expect this team to get worse would be absolutely disgusting. I think this team will be right around where they were this year, and going from anywhere from 9-8 to 10-7, contending in the NFC North, probably stealing a game from Minnesota, absolutely stealing a game from Green Bay, and maybe even sweeping Chicago. I would say they probably end up splitting them, though, because I think Chicago is going to get a lot tougher next season. If you make these moves that I think you're going to make, I highly see this team contending in this division in the NFC North. They're going to be battling out with Green Bay, I feel like, to probably finish second in the division and going 10-7 next season. Minnesota could also lose a few more games next season and be right in that race, which means Detroit has a chance. They have a chance at winning this division. With that being stated, I think they go 10-7, make the playoffs as a wild card team, and they are a very, very dangerous playoff team. With that being stated, do I think they can piece up 3 to 4 games and make the Super Bowl? No. But I absolutely think they can beat any team at any time on any frickin' time zone. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think in the comment section below. We'll see you guys soon. Peace. We are Built Better.